to a super exciting edition of Inside Media Weekly. I'm Ryan Boni. We're back for another season, and we're back with Kevin Bastos. At kevinbastos.com. No, you don't have to.
Nope.
You're back. Thanks for coming back.
That pressure. Super exciting episode again.
We know it's going to be super exciting.
How could it not be? Because
you know what the first story is going to be. We have to introduce Mr. Pinto here first. Justin Pinto also back for another season.
I made it.
Signed up.
Made it down.
Re-upped.
So a lot of steps between 218 and down here. Actually, further this year. 223 before this.
What?
Yep. It's like an extra 17 steps.
Roseanne not back. We are back. And the sea otter. Well, there were sea otters.
There were two sea otters on here.
We know we're back when the sea otters disappeared.
Right.
They were.
I think you can see some
frolicking
trailing of
like crazy.
There was one in that giant plastic piece on the side. There was another one swimming.
They got rid of the green.
There was a juggling one.
The green trash they had out there before.
Toys, you mean?
But now they've added this piece of PVC pipe that's got jagged edges on it.
Almost as good.
That I'm not sure what that is supposed to be for the sea otters. Well, we'll check back in. Maybe they'll
leave it going.
We'll come back at the end of the show. So there's a ton of stuff to catch up. You know, obviously we've got the whole summer. You know, we got
all the movies we did not see. Let's start talking about them now.
We got some Academy Award changes happening.
Oh, yes, I did read about that.
We've got Crazy Rich Asians, of course, we got to talk about, and Venom, and then there's a recent controversy. Can I speak about a space movie that just came out? But let's start.
I don't know anything about it. Maybe
with Black Panther. So Black Panther just sat there. It's $699 million
for a long time
for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it just kind of fizzled out. And then Disney all of a sudden got it into it was like in 15 theaters, I think, right? And then all of a sudden it was like in 150 theaters. Got over $700 million and then went away. Does that diminish? I mean, obviously it's super successful and stuff like that. But does it feel weird that this megalopolis company like just had to have it be over $700 million so that they could go around and say, "Hey, this."
I think they put it in theaters and they bought it themselves. Who cares?
Birthday parties,
right? Who cares? Who cares?
They started making a lot of money. All of a sudden, made like whatever, like a 1,200% increase. I think it was the one article said. It was like 1,200% increase, and then made 50,000, and then it's closed. No, we're out. We're done. Well, so something definitely seemed kind of odd with the numbers.
Yeah.
But
I figured that, eventually they were just going to re-release it anyway, right? I mean, an Oscar season sometime or whatever. I mean, you figure that
it's probably going to be a part of, like, I'm sure they're going to do some crazy
14 MCU marathon.
20th anniversary, come watch all 27 films in a, camp out and be here for 3.5 days, and somebody's going to buy those tickets. So it would have crossed over if you get the money eventually. Yeah. But
I did not see it. However, it is on Netflix now.
That was pretty quick.
One of the last times. And
I think it's been on Blu-ray for a while, hasn't it? Wasn't it still on Blu-ray while it was in the theater?
I would not doubt it.
And actually, that leads me to topic of discussion. It wasn't in the rundown. I'm throwing one out at you.
Oh no!
But so Black Panther is going to be Black Panther is going to be one of the final films from Marvel that's going to go to Netflix before Disney launches their own streaming service. So we went from cable, which had all of these channels bundled together. People wanted it too expensive. I wanted it a la carte. And now all the studios themselves, after seeing the success of Netflix, kind of let Netflix pave the way. And now they're all going to have their own. So you're going to be spending $10 here, $5 here, $10 here.
If I choose.
If you choose to. First of all, you're going to jump on the Disney streaming service?
I'm not planning to.
Because everything's going to be there. It's
great.
Star Wars, Marvel, on the Disney animated features.
I think I own everything I want.
But everything new going forward.
They really have to produce everything new going forward. More than likely, I'm still going to buy it on Blu-ray. I can't see me stopping that.
The Star Wars live action TV
when
series
they make a new one,
is only going to be on.
When they make a new one, I'll make that
until they
decision.
put it on Blu-ray to make more money.
Right. But I still haven't watched how many of those other series that I haven't watched through yet. All those other animated ones, 7 seasons of whatever.
But I really think they're going to make as much money, like, because at some point, if they're going to stop putting stuff on Netflix, feasibly. But correct me if I'm wrong. Netflix pays them money, don't they?
Correct.
So if you're going to pull your stuff off Netflix, and people are already paying Netflix. Am I really going to sign up for this streaming app and this streaming
my
app?
question.
Like, I'm paying $10. Well, what is it now? $12, $13 for Netflix.
I have no idea.
You know, but I'm not going to pay 5 sets of 10 to get the same stuff I was getting for 13. I mean, it's just going to become pay for cable then.
It's how many of the other things are doing that right now. Like Hulu has, and again, I keep looking back that what's The Handmaid's Tale everyone talks about. I'm like, oh, we should get that, but I don't want to pay $10, $12. And who was the other one that did the Cobra Kai show? Was that YouTube Red that did that, or was it something else? But the Karate Kid spin-off, and I'm like, I want to watch that, but I don't feel like paying the
No, I want to watch
$12.
Star Trek Discovery, but I'm not going to join CBS All Access or
Right.
whatever it is.
And there's too many things out there, and I may move to one or two based on my interest, but right now there's so much out there that's great that I haven't watched, or I'm only part of the way through. Like Ozark season 2 premiered, I'm like, let's watch it, we're on, let's go. And after that, we've got Jack Ryan through Amazon Prime that we're paying for. I mean, those 2 streaming services already seems like kind of a lot for me, and more than likely there's something to watch in those.
Well, and you have to applaud Netflix, obviously, in this instance, because they started doing so much original programming, and I think a lot of people now are strictly buying Netflix for the original programming.
It's kind of worth Netflix just for what their original programming. I mean, you could watch. I mean, well, I should say my interest because they have every Marvel show, which I've not watched any of them all the way through.
Yeah.
And that's how many hours of TV right there, right? 2 seasons. There's 2 seasons of Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Defenders, Iron Fist. Didn't they have Iron Fist?
Yep.
I
Well, that's going to be interesting to see. I'm not sure what they're doing with the Netflix-created
MCU stuff.
MCU.
My expectation is the licensing permits them to continue it. Like there's a
I mean, if they paid to make the show and paid them, I think they'd have to be allowed to. I would imagine.
I would expect Netflix was smart enough to say, as long as we continue this, we can keep it if we want to keep it. But
Are we going to be getting like the Fantastic Four movie, where it's just like a guy with a pizza box?
Right.
Get that pizza box. Put a 4 on it. You over there. Put an orange filter on that
Right.
camera. That's the thing.
It's done.
And we're good.
It's done.
Put it on you. Put it on Netflix.
5 hours.
Get an email.
done.
Justin, you may be interested in this new Daredevil. It's 2 minutes long. Okay. Awesome.
There have been dumber things done.
Oh.
That first Fantastic Four film was never made to be released. It was made just keep that going.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Make a bad movie. You make a bad movie.
Did Fox buy back Fantastic Four in that whole mess?
Well, I don't know. 'Cause
Disney
just
buyback.
bought, I mean, Disney
Right.
just bought Fox.
Right, that's what I mean. I think Fox owned Fantastic Four. Did
I
that
think
go
so.
back to them?
I would imagine because Marvel just put out Fantastic Four for the first time in like years. They were back.
And what about what are the other ones?
Spider-Man's Sony, isn't it?
Yeah, but Spider-Man's already sort of moved over.
So yeah, they have
done
like an
cooperative.
agreement. Yeah, but X-Men was Fox, wasn't it?
But X-Men, I think, was purchased back with that.
Yes.
And the other one is Snap, Blade.
I thought they got everything back except I thought they got everything in the merge except they had to sell some sports channels. They couldn't take the sports channels was what they had to get rid of.
Okay.
I'll consult my literature that
Please.
Disney sent us
Please.
on the merger and see what it says in that
Please.
phone book that they sent us for our vote.
So Bob Iger, CEO of Disney,
It says what? What's
gave
it say?
out some details, which aren't really details. This is what I love. Like,
It's all going to be spoiled in the Avengers post-credit scene next
Disney
week.
reveals details about their forthcoming streaming service. And then all he really says is, well, we're going to walk before we run. They did say they're not going to immediately pull their stuff off of Netflix and Hulu and Amazon. It's only the new stuff will be on the streaming service. And it is going to cost less than Netflix, which currently charges between $8 and $14 a month.
Well, it has to cost less because you don't have as much stuff.
Right.
Right?
Mostly because they simply don't have as much content.
Duh.
I mean, they might have as much stuff as Netflix because they own a ton of stuff. And once Netflix starts losing all its stuff from other people taking it back, it could get interesting. But
Remember how angry everyone was when the whole Netflix thing launched?
in what sense?
Well, it was first they threw in, oh, by the way, everything's free. And then the next month they were like, well, when we said free, we meant double the cost. Well, when we said the same company, we meant two separate companies.
Yeah, when
we said two separate companies, we meant staying as one company. When we said staying as one company, we meant staying as one company, but charging you more, or choosing one part or the other, or both. Just then everyone's like, DVDs, I don't need those anymore.
Yeah, but yes, certainly when they launched their streaming service, there was an uproar about, well, you're going to charge me. I'm already paying for the DVDs. Why should I pay? Right, but
and their stuff was junk at the beginning.
Oh,
it was like 12-year-old movies, and
It was not good.
Then they were like, we're going to make our own shows, and I was like, their own shows, yeah, big whoop. And now they're like, those are pretty good. I really like those. It's better than some of the tripe on television.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens. It is launching the Disney one is launching sometime in 2019. I don't know if they've given a specific date. They're obviously going to have enough original content and exclusivity to really make this thing go. But if they've got Marvel,
a new Silver Surfer show meets the Fantastic Four and Baldur the Great.
So speaking of greats, so Crazy Rich Asians, which I gotta admit, I was when I first saw the title of it, I was a little worried about perhaps the political correctness of it or whatever. But it has been wildly successful. It is the most successful, according to the Hollywood Reporter, most successful studio rom-com, meaning romantic comedy, in 9 years at the U.S. box office, passing Amy Schumer's Trainwreck. Was that a rom-com, I guess?
Now, I don't know the answer to this question. I was walking in a store the other day, and there seemed to be a bunch of books related to this. Is this like from a book series or something? Was it a book first? I have no idea. It just seemed like that cover of the movie, like it had the movie cover on the book now, because anytime a movie, you got to re-release the book with the movie poster. And it seemed like that author had other books there. Now, I was walking quickly with a young child, so I wasn't totally paying attention.
So I don't know, is there a series? There's the
Or just other books?
original book was from 2013. There's been 2 sequels, which I'm sure we'll see in movies.
Oh, yes.
So be prepared for China.
And it made over $100 million now, hasn't it?
Be prepared for China Rich Girlfriend, which is the second one, and Rich People Problems, which is the third one. So it has made
the third one they're actually splitting into 4 different movies. Yes. Each one are 28 minutes long.
117 million.
There's been nothing at the box office lately.
This summer seemed very slow.
The summer was very front heavy, I feel like. The beginning of the summer was like movies,
even
movie,
before
movie,
the
movie.
summer.
Well, yeah, because the summer starts in April now.
Right. And it seemed like there were a lot of big films, and then seemed like through Jurassic World, which I saw got terrible reviews, by the way.
Mission Impossible was after that,
Right,
wasn't it?
and that
I
one
feel like
was
Mission
in
Impossible
August,
was the last.
But that was the only thing from
big
like
movie.
July.
Yes.
The
on.
Meg.
I have to say, now
you go see it?
I looked through I only saw the only real summer movie I saw was Ant-Man and Wasp.
Okay.
Which I was more disappointed in than I was ecstatic about. I liked the first one a lot.
Okay.
And this one seemed to start really slow.
You're the first person who said this one was. Everybody I've talked to said this one's better than the first one.
No, I don't think so.
I have not seen, so I can't.
I don't think so. The end was good.
I heard the ending and the post-credit scenes were good. I have no idea what it is, but
the
I heard
beginning
it
was slow, and I thought Paul Rudd was woefully underused. He is a great actor, and he made the first films. Like that interplay back and forth between those characters was terrific, but this one was heavy and predictable, and Paul Rudd was not in it enough. He needed a lot more of those little one-liners, and it felt like it just didn't click for me all the way across. So it was okay.
And who played Wasp?
Angelina.
No.
Lily?
Lily. Evangeline Lilly.
Okay.
She's
Lost,
good.
isn't she?
What?
Is she on Lost?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Good call.
Sorry, I was reading up.
Sorry, I'm just grading some papers over here. No big deal.
We're just reading.
But I do want to.
I watched this show where they don't talk about the movies they don't watch.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Where did I put the?
But there were 4 views on the Vimeo challenge this month.
You had mentioned Academy Awards.
So, I was going to say, what's crazy is one of the things they list here is that Warner Brothers, which released The Meg and Crazy Rich Asians, had 26% of all August domestic revenue, which tells you that they have two big movies, but also there's nothing else out in theaters.
The thing that struck me about this summer was a lot of bigger, small movies. A lot of small movies with, modest budget, 12, 14, 18 million dollars, making it back, and then some, like The Meg being sort of an event movie, but a cheap one.
Mm-hmm.
But then a lot of other movies that they thought were cheap, guaranteed hits, didn't make it. That was a Pacific Rim thing.
That was before we left.
But that was, a summer film this year and just died in the box office. Even Jurassic World, I heard very little buzz about. And
it made a bunch of money.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes had it below 50%. For a film of that level, that's not good at all. And I thought the first one was excellent. Really, really good. And
Mamma Mia, here we go again.
right, and that was a little film
there was a
that got
week-
tremendous reviews, like 81, 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, and there is 0% chance I will go see that in the theater. But
It was,
a niche film, a bunch of people
Wasn't it like right
watched
around
it.
Mamma Mia was out, and it was out that like 9 of the top 10 movies were all sequels for a weekend?
Oh my gosh!
Like it was like when Hotel Transylvania was out, and Mamma Mia, and Avengers was still in the top 10, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, every movie was just a sequel.
Look at this list. Avengers is a sequel, Incredibles 2 is a sequel, Jurassic World is a sequel, Solo is a sequel, Ant-Man is a sequel, Mission Impossible,
The Meg isn't.
Hotel Transylvania. The Meg is not.
The Meg made
And what a-
$120 million.
Yeah, what a bold little film.
It had a budget of 130.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Jason Statham was 120 of that.
Probably. But that's a lot more money into that film than I expected. And it's going to make money. But
yeah,
Crazy
because when you
Rich
put the
Asians,
foreign on it, also,
very little budget.
the foreign
and
box office.
Mamma Mia's budget was $75 million. Holy smokes.
We gotta get Pierce back. Can we get Pierce back?
My daughter said, people in Mamma Mia are the greatest actors ever because they're all pretending that Pierce Brosnan is not a terrible singer. I was like, that's funny. You're a funny 18-year-old kid.
So what did you guys see this? So I'll start the conversation with.
Christopher Robin, you asked me the
Oh
question.
yes. Well, before the show,
I
he
went
mentioned
to Christopher
he
Robin
Fell
and
asleep.
I was moved out of the theater because I was snoring.
No.
My family kicked me out. They were like, Dad, you're asleep. It was on the cruise. It was a midnight premiere. We were
Okay.
like, let's go. I was like, okay. It was the end of the cruise. I was like, go home, go to bed. I was like, yes, thank you. But what I saw was cute. I was way tired.
Okay. So,
So you didn't pay for it.
so
No,
you
technically-
reviewed.
well-
You did.
It was included. We said that a lot.
You didn't-
Like, that's like saying the food's free on a cruise. It's not free. You bought it.
I mean, but
you paid for it.
you didn't pay extra for Christopher. They didn't say you want to see Christopher Robin.
I paid plenty for it. I paid plenty.
But you had already paid that.
Right. It was included with my fee.
Yeah. Perfect.
I saw Mission Impossible.
Did you
It was
like it?
fantastic.
Okay.
Really, I'm amazed.
So
that
better
they
or worse
continue-
than Mission Impossible 2?
Aren't all of them better than Mission Impossible 2?
Yes, I believe Christopher Robin was a better action
I
film.
mean, I haven't seen most of the new ones, but I'm pretty sure they're all better than MI2.
Mission Impossible is definitely going up. It's not like Fast and Furious where they're just taking giant leaps. Where each one is just so much better than the next.
let's make it
last one.
crazy.
But still, Tom Cruise can put together a fantastic action film. It was really a fun movie. And then we did go see Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation, which was also very good.
Oh.
And
That
my daughter had
surprises
not
me.
seen 1 or 2 and was able to jump right into the
Oh,
story.
wow.
She could follow along?
Right into the story.
I was a little worried about the complex
Continuation.
plot tricks there.
But it is, cruise, a movie about going on a cruise, so it's not seen on a cruise, though.
Yes.
And then I didn't see The Equalizer 2, but I'm curious about, because it didn't seem like The Equalizer, the original movie, did significant. I mean, it did well just by having Denzel Washington, but it seemed like there was a lot of commercials for Equalizer 2.
Mm-hmm.
More so than most of these other films.
I would say more so than Equalizer, that's for sure.
And
I think I
it's-
saw infinitely more commercials.
I was going to say, I don't even know. I didn't even know the movie Equalizer had come out. When it said 2, I was like, why are they calling this 2?
Right.
Was it been the first one?
I remember there was an interview. He actually said, "This is not a sequel." I was like, "Yeah, I don't remember that first one at all." So.
I saw none of these movies that came out in the summer.
The Rock. That was another interesting thing. The flailing of The Rock. We had said up to this year, The Rock was your guaranteed success.
Oh, he still made a ton.
Crashed twice, but 2 movies did not make a profit.
Where? I mean, I think.
Skyscraper, the budget. Take a look.
But Skyscraper is like, I think if you go foreign, Skyscraper's almost
the
at
budget,
$300 million.
when the budget is $125 million and it made $67 million, that is not making money.
But it made like $200 million overseas.
But it's losing money here. That's the big thing.
Whereas
And
The Rock
Rampage did not make money. Well, Rampage made more money, but did.
I don't even know where Rampage.
I actually saw Rampage. It was not a bad film.
I forget. Somebody on
these
Twitter
were-
said like The Rock. Like I'd like to have The Rock's failures because like when you put like I mean he's gullible. Like I mean his whole thing is I mean.
It is the highest rated video game movie ever.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Better than Pixels.
Better than Pixels. Better than Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
High bars.
No, I mean like people did not like Skyscraper here, but I really feel like it made $200 million for.
I have no idea what it made for it. I really don't. But when your budget's $125 million, and then add the revenue on top of that for advertising, and you make 67, that's not a good day.
And
at the
in week
office.
8, this past week, so this is, by the way, in order of total gross, but movies that are still out as of this weekend, it made $165 million, or $165,000 in week 8. And typically, The Rock can kind of take over an entire summer, but
Not so much.
by the way, the first Equalizer did make $192 million. It was actually more than I thought.
Woo!
And,
It's a
and they do
great
list
day.
its budget was
The budget was like 20.
somewhere between. They have I don't know why they have a range here. 55 to 73 million.
Somewhere between 87 and
What do you think?
306.
Denzel had to get part of the back box office of that, like Jack Nicholson
wouldn't
in
you?
Batman, right?
If your name's Denzel Washington,
you're going into
you'd be
the
like,
Equalizer.
Here is my contract.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
mean,
like,
it's not
okay,
like
we're
it's
in.
not like it's like a big movie like we're remaking this. We want you Denzel. It was like it was the Equalizer, which made $192 million. A movie I did not know existed until Equalizer 2.
Well, and Antoine Fuqua was the director of the.
I've heard of him. He did that Bruce Willis movie, didn't he? Or the army guy?
The one,
Well, and he's worked
I want
with.
to say Tears of the Sun or something like that, but is that a real movie? I don't even know what that is.
yeah, I think it was.
We were trying to get escape.
I don't
Training Day
remember
was Training Day?
Yeah.
Antoine?
That
Well,
was-
he's
I don't know.
He's a Pittsburgh boy too, right? So he.
Did not know that.
But he was a music video director for a long, long time. Tony Braxton,
Those are
Coolio,
slowed down a little
Stevie
bit.
Wonder, and Prince.
Yet the VMAs still
Amongst
go
others.
out.
I know. Well,
But yeah, he was Replacement Killers, Bait, Training Day, Tears of the Sun, King Arthur, Shooter,
nice combo.
Brooklyn's Finest, Olympus Has Fallen, The Equalizer, Southpaw,
He's
Magnificent
got a lot
Seven,
of movies.
and
This
Equalizer
guy's been all
2.
over stuff that I did not know.
some big ones and some,
Has he directed anything with The Rock? I didn't hear anything with The Rock. I feel like Antoine Fuqua and The Rock are like a match
Should
we
be
need.
together.
I feel like that's a movie we need to
Rampage
see.
2.
Denzel and The Rock star in it.
So speaking of The Rock,
I just another computer for Mr. Boni over here.
I
So you can
lost
have-
right.
I heard The Rock now commands like $1 million plus figure in his negotiations just for him to post about the movie on social media.
Oh, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, that's part of his new thing.
So let's talk about the Academy Awards. So they're going to do everything they can to become more popular by adding a
Yes.
popular film category.
I don't like it.
They are going to
Stupid.
give out awards during the commercial break and then show highlights as they come back.
Well, I kind of like that. I mean, you could do whatever to speed. You could speed this up.
They guarantee they're going to keep it 3 hours and under.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Lies.
Okay.
Lies.
I'll take the over.
Why don't they just record it like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, edit it, and then air it at, an hour long? Who cares?
Are people watching the Academy Awards live,
I'm
or are
not.
you watching the
I
snippets
watch it
the day after?
I start DVRing
Okay.
it so I can fast forward
Good call.
because I just don't have like. It starts at 8, doesn't it?
And
I
usually
think it
it
starts
goes
at
till
8.
like 11.
It goes past 11.
And it's
yeah.
a Sunday
Yes,
night.
it goes late, and I just don't have that dedicated time from 8.
You could stay up on the West Coast. We got to go.
I don't
bed.
mind starting it at 10. I don't mind starting at 10. I'm not reading about anything. I don't know who won. I can push play.
Well, the vast
fast
majority of the
forward.
world's outside of supporting actor and supporting actress. No one cares about the first 2 hours of awards anyway.
Best costume design is a big award every year.
Then I got to hear all the songs be sung.
Yeah, that's
by
the part that they can cut out. Like,
someone.
I don't need the montage. You can cut the montage. You can cut the songs. I don't need it. If you're trying to speed it up, okay.
The anger is about the popular movie category.
So popular movie
Well,
category.
they had it animated years ago. I mean, I don't know.
Animated is a
but
different
I
thing
just don't know
altogether.
how you. What's the definition of popular? Do you have to make $100 million?
This is a movie that
And-
people have seen that we like, and the complaint about it is, if it's a good movie, it's good. Like, if Black Panther is good, it should be
should
nominated
win
for Best
Best
Picture.
Picture.
And the people voting for it should just take the pretentious out of themselves and say, this was a good movie. Like, to look around at films
Every
and
so
go...
often they do it.
But they put something in like, okay, you're in. Like Beauty and the Beast, all right, you're in there.
Well, they
Come
upped it
on
to
in.
10 to try to make
Right,
this
but
more
then
interesting,
it
to get
became
films
these-
nominated that you hadn't heard about.
Here's the Bridesmaid Award for you,
Yeah.
and we're not going to vote for you, but yeah, you're nominated. Whoop-de-doo. You're not going to win. I mean, it's what was the film a few years ago I thought was the greatest film, and they vote for Tripe. Like last year's Water for Chocolate, I wanted to throw up halfway through it.
Was it Water for Chocolate?
I don't know what it was. That was
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. That was it.
You're
Yeah,
thinking- you're
that
thinking-
one
you're
I
thinking of
wanted to
Chocolat
throw
from years
things-
ago. You're
Or
putting
like
it on
water,
the
like
side.
chocolate. Yeah.
That movie, I wanted to throw things at. Artist was boring as sin. I mean, these are pretentious people voting for things they think should win to show how pretentious we are. Take that pretentious out of you and vote for a
Well,
good movie.
It seems like you would really like to watch. What's that show? Golden Globes.
Oh,
Because
I
they
like the
just
Golden
vote
Globes.
for anything.
They don't care.
They don't
And it's,
care.
It's a set of and the Hollywood Foreign Press is, what, 120, 130 people?
no clue.
But at the same time, they have that jacked up award for comedy that The Martian won. And The Martian was not a comedy. You
It
can't put
fits
three
something.
jokes in it and say, you know what, it's a comedy now. It's not. It's not. They're
remember
jacked
that.
up too.
We're out of time.
Dang it!
I'm gonna throw a couple real quick things out, which we can talk about in detail next week. Does Venom have any chance?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I'm saying yes.
Of course, we have this First Man controversy, which we can talk about.
what
next week,
controversy?
about the Neil Armstrong putting the flag, not putting the flag. And
Oh, the
and-
flag.
and,
I read
you
it.
know,
I read a snippet about
There's
that.
no. It's about Neil Armstrong landing on the moon, and there's no shot of him putting the American flag in because they said, well, this was a worldwide achievement, not an American achievement. That was
You have to read that.
Ryan Gosling's reasoning for it. Die Hard 6 is not just going to be a prequel or reboot. Bruce Willis is going to be in it. We'll talk about in a new Police Academy movie.
Oh,
Is
wow.
Steve Guttenberg has alluded to the fact that it's going to happen. This weekend it's God Bless the Broken Road, The Nun, and Peppermint.
Heard of none of that.
Well, Peppermint is the Jennifer Garner one. I've seen at least ads for that.
I don't even. I've
The
not.
Nun's horror movie and God
I
Bless the
watch
Broken Road.
TV with commercials, and I've never heard of it.
That is
fast forward through.
all the time we have for on this edition of Inside Media Weekly. Thanks for joining us.